Well, the reason I introduced a new assessment was because here in geography we've got a very good range of assessments across physical and human geography, but I felt that there was, given the subject topic of cities and contemporary process within the urban environment, I felt that it was a good opportunity to do something a bit different, a bit innovative, and also tackle the employability issue as well. Because it has a very strong focus on employability, I felt that it was an assessment which added that work placement part of it, which we didn't really have here in the department so much, not linked to assessments anyway, so that's the main reason why I decided to implement it. I came up with the idea really by watching Dragon's Den television programme. It was something I did in my previous post at Salford University in a slightly different topic, and it worked very well there. But really it was an attempt to think about engaging students in a slightly more business orientated way, and what better way to do that than to kind of riff off a television show. So it's really just an attempt to get them to think about things. In my case, get them to think about pitching business ideas within particular cities, but doing that in a very business orientated way. So I guess using the format which Dragon's Den, the BBC TV programme, allows, offers that opportunity in a very business orientated way. So that's really where I got my inspiration from, and I've tweaked little bits here and there, but it seems to work very well. Well, it's very clear from the outset that students are particularly interested and engaged in the business format of it. They enjoy the presentation side of things, they enjoy the research that they have to do. I do leave it very open in terms of what they have to do. So there's elements of creativity. They have to come up with a very entrepreneurial idea. It can be scary at times for them. They've told me this, but I think they get more out of it because of it. So I think really it allows them to excel in that respect. It allows them to really excel in terms of coming up with an idea that can be implemented. And it's every year the people that I have with me, the business people that I bring in for the day, they always comment that there's a significant number of students who show very, very good business acumen. They show entrepreneurial activities. They come up with really great ideas. So a lot of the time, the students really take the idea and run with it. And some of them get a little bit frightened, yes, because it's very different, very new. And I like to replicate the high pressure environment of a business pitch. But the majority of them excel, and they comment on it's one of the most enjoyable parts of their degree. The main challenges were logistical. The number of students seems to grow each year, so getting it all done in a day can be quite challenging. It's a long day because I get the business people in for a day, and they see all the students. And they're in groups as well, so it can be quite tricky in terms of logistics. But also the challenges as well as are just kind of allaying the students' fears, because it is quite open, it is quite different, it is quite creative, and there's a few skills in there which they're not necessarily taught on a geography degree. Nothing particularly, they don't need an economics degree to do it, they just need a basic grasp of Excel and financial spreadsheets and stuff, and sometimes that can be a little bit daunting. So there are some issues around a little bit of extra tutorial help in the term in order to give them the opportunities just to do a few run-throughs. So it can be scary for them at the beginning, but once with a little bit of hand holding at the beginning and going through different examples, those fears are soon allayed, and I think they run with it in the end. But so logistically, it can be a bit tricky. Finding a room in the campus is difficult. But yeah, the main thing is the students sort of worry at the beginning, but that can be handled quite easily. The student feedback has been generally very, very good. The module appraisal forms at the end of the term are very, very positive. And given the fact that it's linked to a placement at the end, that the team that wins the project or gets the highest mark, they are offered a placement at a top London estate agency, and that is generally very well received. And that can be sometimes not what they expected. So sometimes they a little bit concerned that it's different to the assessment, but very clear that once they're with them, that's they're with the company and they're there to do what they want them to do, and that's a work placement. That's something very different. And also some of the feedback has been around the tasks that I set them to do, which perhaps aren't taught very much on the course. As I say, things like Excel and some of the sort of more number crunching. But again, I've tweaked the tutorials to allow for that and made that very clear from the beginning. So the feedback on the whole has been very, very positive, with a few minor sort of logistical issues. But really, as far as the department are concerned, it's one of the sort of more anticipated assessments of the year.